Welcome to Movie Time in 5. My name is Brian Hayes, and each week I'll provide an almost 5-minute spoiler-free look at a horror or sci-fi movie recently released in theaters, on iTunes, or a popular streaming service such as Netflix or Amazon Prime. This week we will be discussing a movie called Bedeviled, released back in 2016, but is newly available to rent on Netflix. To be clear, this is not the movie with two L's in the name released back in 2010. So let's dive right into Bedeviled. It is a 2016 American supernatural horror film directed, written, and produced by Abel and Burley Vang. The film opens with the death of a character, Nikki, a young woman that has recently downloaded Mr. Bedevil, a mysterious Siri-like AI app, to her smartphone. She's stalked by a paranormal presence and is later found deceased after a shock-induced heart attack. Following her funeral, Nikki's boyfriend Cody, her best friend Alice, Alice's boyfriend Gavin, and friends Haley and Dan all receive invites to download Mr. Bedevil, which launches the movie's plot. The premise and focus on the remainder of the movie is how the group is tormented by Mr. Bedevil, haunting and taunting them with their greatest fears. It is very akin to the type of effect and plot focus that you see in a movie such as It, with the key difference being modern AI technology being the driver, versus a more traditional fear point such as clowns, spirits, etc. The fears that come out are some traditional ones, such as hilariously fear of clowns for one of the participants. The app in many ways is used in a way a Ouija board is in regards to a spirit being able to interact and torment the physical world. As the movie enters the final act, the focus is those that remain trying to figure out how to remove or disable the app / spirit and save themselves. The end of the movie is very much a traditional trope where it's still not over. And so what's next? It really is a killer app that goes viral. So, what does the movie do well? Well, there are some cool and effective visuals in the movie, especially during the scare fear sequences with the various participants, such as a pretzel-twisted scary old lady, killer clowns, and a scraggly looking scary teddy bear. The acting in the movie presented by this young cast is overall good, given the script without many detracting mannerisms. There is some cringeworthy dialogue and soliloquies, but that is not the fault of the actors. So what does the movie struggle with? Lots of things, unfortunately. The directors don't even try to build tension or atmosphere in this flick. They rely too heavily on crescendos to try to make the audience jump. Tons of jump scares. That's not a problem in a movie if it's used 3 or 4 times, but it's constant in this flick. Another major gripe is that they continue to use their phone after the infection is shown to be deadly. Yes, you cannot uninstall the app, but you could flash the phone or just toss the sucker in the lake. But they continue to use the phone, trying to eventually uninstall the app, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So there's a lot of plot holes in regards to that part of the movie. Just doesn't make sense. The look of the spirit, when it manifests itself in the physical world, is a bad caricature, if I can say it right, of the Joker, and really looks funny and silly versus terrifying. Just doesn't work for me. So what would I give this movie? What would I give Bedeviled? I would give this movie a 4 out of 10. This movie ultimately embraces cliches rather than subverting them. The evil technology is up to date, but the storytelling is nonsensical, and I believe even devoted horror buffs may balk. I have seen some reviews comparing this movie to It Follows, and it's not nearly the level of quality of a movie as that movie is. So I would pass on this flick. So I hope you've enjoyed this movie Time in 5. You can find me on Twitter at BrianHayes73. Until next week, do your heart some good and get scared.